Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous. And here's her story. Ollie, thanks for being brave enough to do your channel. It must be hard. Like everyone else, my story is painful. Quite frankly, I had no idea how narcissistic my family was until a little over a year ago, and the control they had over me. I have been a huge enabler my whole life. October of 2015, I purchased a townhouse in Denver for my mother, sister, and nephews to live in because their rent went up in their apartment. Also, their credit is bad enough they could not get another place. I had been co-signing their leases for several years. I don't live in Denver, I live in California, but I agreed to pay half the mortgage, half the utilities, half the internet, etc. to help them out. I can't believe I did this in retrospect. My mother ended up not moving into the place after her and my sister got into a fight. My mother moved in with another sister instead who lives in the mountains. By the way, I bought in a gated community that my mom insisted on living in, and with a master bedroom and bathroom on the lower level for her, yet she dogged it because it didn't have a view. But she didn't move in anyway. What an ungrateful bitch. Didn't have a view. I had my own room in the 4-bedroom townhouse to stay in when I came to visit them, which was about every 6 weeks. My mother asked if she could sleep in my room to be closer to town for a few days. I said sure. My mother went snooping through my room and found an empty bottle of Vicodin I had left there. I struggled with Vicodin addiction off and on, which began my chronic migraine headaches, but not consistently. She told my 3 sisters and everyone completely abandoned me, which is a blessing, but of course still painful. They all abandon you in your house that you own. I'm still pissed off. I'm still fucking pissed off. Still. I am the most stable member of this family. However, all anyone can see is addiction. I never did a damn thing to these people. As a matter of fact, here are a few things I've done for them. Bought them a townhouse. Bought my mom $1,000 dog she begged me to get her when my dad died. Co-signed leases, paid my mom's cell bill for years, gave my mom $100 a month for years, bought her a car, paid for my sister's trip to Machu Picchu with me, paid my sister's legal bills, paid my sister's rent, paid airfare to my house. I could go on, but you get the point. I have been married for 15 years. I am a registered nurse and my husband is a doctor. Again, they say I am the crazy one, but I am the one with the most stable family life, most stable life financially, emotionally, and physically. My mother would make me crazy by gaslighting. For example, I went to Kenya on safari and she said I was nuts and crazy for going to Africa. Yet, when she found out her apartment manager was from Kenya, all she could do was brag about how I had a fabulous trip to Kenya and she wished she could go. What the fuck? Yeah, they'll use any example. Look, just because something they abuse you with, they'll turn around and brag about it to someone else if it benefits them. This is all about the money with your family. They're vampires. They see you nothing more as an ATM with feet. And the problem with the thing with vampires is, look, if you didn't have a pill addiction at one time, it'd been something else. They're going to find whatever your flaw is and use it against you. So don't get hung up on it. Okay, because they're just probably going to use it to guilt you out of more money. I mean, you're buying houses, cars, dogs. Your mother doesn't. You buy a house in Colorado, you're in California, and she doesn't even move in because there isn't a fucking view. I mean, you're right. You're crazy. You're crazy for doing this. Another example: she was sitting at the breakfast table. And she said she had to call her doctor because she had a medication question. Hello, I'm an RN sitting right next to her. Right, and she's not going to ask you for something valuable. She wants you to think you're a total piece of shit. It's because you have the medical know-how that she's going to call and get somebody else's opinion just to make you feel like shit. I said I could probably help answer her question, and her reply was that I don't know anything about her medications. When I was a teenager and accepted to college, she told me I wasn't college material. I think she was pissed off I graduated. I also do medical missions in Peru once a year. Yes, me, the dying in the gutter, mentally screwed up drug addict doing medical mission work. And she said I was nuts to going for Peru, but would brag to her friends in my presence how I did mission work in Peru. Oh my God, the gaslighting has driven me nuts. However, I think the worst betrayal my family has done is insisting I not mention being groped by 2 of my brother-in-laws. Jesus. My younger sister's husband tried to rape me before they met and were married. And you didn't, I hope you told her this before she married a rapist. But obviously not if they want you to keep it quiet. It was extremely strange coincidence. We even went to court, but it was dismissed. He just had to pay for breaking my car window. My sister said I was a liar and married him anyway, even with court documents, but she said she didn't want to see them. Yes, they are divorced. My older sister's husband has been groping me and another sister for years, breast grabbing, mouth kissing, etc. I was told not to talk about these things to keep the peace. I did end up telling my older sister. My mom was there when I told her, and my mom was actually about to tell my sister that I was lying until I yelled at her to stop this shit. And I would also get proof from the other sister he groped. The sister is still married to the fucker. They sleep in separate beds and haven't had sex in 13 years. Great marriage. I went to therapy and was awakened to how controlled I was. But the worst part, my whole life living with my narcissistic mother, has been the gaslighting. It makes me crazy. Now her game is to pay me back half of what the dog cost. This was 4 years ago. But now she says she wants to pay me back to keep her commitments. It isn't worth it. Know when to cut your losses with the narcissist, okay? Because any engagement with them is only to draw you back in. Know when to cut your losses. She knows we are wealthy people and don't need the money, and I know it's a game. I believe she either wants to badmouth me for cashing her checks, or if I don't cash the check, she will say she tried very hard to pay me back. Exactly. So you make it about, because it's not about the money. If you're in a position where it's not about the money, I would just return the sender all those checks. I don't want your money. I don't want you. It's not about the money. Since I don't want the money, I donate the checks she sends me every month to Animal Rescue, and she gets a nice thank you card from them. That's a better idea. Last month, I started thinking that she could really die without me ever seeing her again. I offered to come see her with my oldest son. I offered to fly us to Denver, rent a car, take her to lunch, and go back to California that night. She says she has a lot of doctor's appointments and will need to recover from cataract surgery and doesn't know when she will have the time to see us. As an RN, I can tell you that cataract surgery is done in about 20 minutes outpatient, and recovery is in days. If someone offered to fly to see me to take me to lunch for a day, I would be so flattered. Yeah, but the narcissist isn't a normal person. The narcissist is always going to pump you for more. I think the game in this situation is that she wants me to beg to see her, beg to be back in with the family. It will never happen. She told lies about my addiction and uses that singular topic to disparage me constantly and say it has made me mentally ill. Right. Doesn't matter. Look, your pill addiction is, when the narcissist thinks they have something to hold over your head, they will try to beat you into submission with it forever. Forever. When they think they have something, you know what? People get addicted to things. Lots of people in this country have pill addictions. Okay? It's the same reason you see my father running around on here trying to talk about me still because he thinks I'm scamming people on the internet. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like he says, this all started with me collecting off a GoFundMe $5,000. Like he thinks that's some kind of weapon to use against me. And your mother thinking because it's a pill, like no matter what, that's her trump card to pull out at any time, and you're always wrong. That's what they think, and you will never, ever, ever change her from that. I don't understand how people can look at my life and believe this crap. How many drug addicts travel abroad several times a year, work, volunteer, and have no criminal records? Also, my oldest son was battling a meth addiction and stole several items from his cousin. He did this when we were all living together. I bought every single item that was pawned back and returned them all. My son went to rehab, apologized to his cousin, and has been sober for nearly 2 years. He has a great job at Apple. However, my family treats him equally, if not worse, than they treat me. They will not see him or speak to him until he apologizes to them. Apologize for what? This is more painful than my own shunning. Exactly. They always want to hold, when they got things to hold over, they are going to pound you. And it's not worth it. Families are supposed to be forgiving. These families just put you on trial for life. I guess what I am seeking from you is how do you get over the pain and stay no contact for life? Why would you want these people in your life is my question. Just to say your mother and your family's in your life? What do you get from these people? When you stop and think, all you do is give money, houses, cars, dogs, your time, your energy. And all they do is spit it back in your face. Why do you want contact? Why? Bet you can't answer it. You don't know why. Because it's that empty feeling we all have around holidays and around birthdays and on TV when you're seeing these normal families and your friends' normal families. That's not in the cards for us. It just isn't. What you have to do is build your own normal family. And forget these people. They're not your family. They're just blood. You're just blood related to them. All they see you again as you're another person is another ATM with feet. That's all they see you as is an ATM. And instead of withdrawing with their debit card, they withdraw from guilt and shame. That's how they make their withdrawals from you. I find myself just sad several times throughout the day thinking of the loss. The loss of what? The loss of something you never had? She was never a mother to you. These were never family members to you. They were vampires. They were emotional vampires using you. This is the beginning of your life. This isn't loss. This is a gain. Going no contact isn't a loss. It's a gain. You're gaining your life and your sanity and your control back. I do think all of this happening has been a total blessing because I would have continued to be manipulated. Also, this has brought my husband and I closer than ever. My husband said he has seen a profound change in me emotionally since going no contact. Oh, by the way, my mother tried very hard to turn my youngest son against me, telling him he should cut off all communication with his mother in order to jolt me into recovery. He didn't talk to me for a few months, but after spending a week with my family, realized it wasn't me, it's them. So I have a very solid family of 4 that is supportive and great friends. That's another thing. My mother and sisters always criticize my friends, including the friends I have from high school. Yet not one of them has any friends. My mother never had friends. My mother never had friends either. I think this must be from not being able to work at a relationship, but take them for granted. Who would want to be this woman's friend? Obviously, she doesn't just use you. She probably uses everybody she associates with. They're sociopaths. Again, where's your loss here of these people? This woman can't even make a friend. And you're considering it a loss? It's your freedom. In the past few months, I've had a few text messages with two of my sisters, but every time I talk or text with my mom, the conversation goes south fast. She always tries to accuse me of stuff. The last text I had with her, I sent an okay emoji, and she thought I was flipping her off, and probably told people I flipped her off. Who? She has no friends. The other sisters or family members? Who gives a shit? They're not worth it. Stop worrying about, you got everything. And you're worrying about what these losers think. We all do it. No matter how successful or how good things are, you're still worrying about what these friggin' idiots think. And that's what they are, a bunch of fucking idiots. It's maddening. I have audio and text proof of my mother's lies as well. But whenever I have tried to show them to my sisters, they said that they don't know why I always have to prove myself and why I'm so sensitive. That's just another gaslight. I don't understand why you have to prove yourself, as you've been calling me a liar and putting me on trial my whole life. Well, we don't understand why. So basically trying to invalidate your whole life. And you wonder why you have uneasy feelings about this situation. Why you're confused. When they basically, every chance they get, invalidate your entire life. I see this in many other stories as well. Why don't people want to know the truth? They know what the truth is. They don't want to hear the truth. Because hearing the truth means you know the truth. Narcs, they know the truth. They know the truth. They just don't want to hear the truth. Because when they hear the truth, that means other people know the truth. Again, thank you for your channel. The videos have helped me, especially the audio recordings, and I'm sorry about your daughter. Hope things are better now. I donated to the channel happily. Warmest regards, Anonymous. Well, things are the same with the daughter. But, you know, your real question is why... Is how do you get over the pain and stay no contact for life? And no contact, just by staying no contact. Look, the pain's always going to be there because these were the people that were supposed to protect us the most. And there's always going to be a pain of being rejected by your own family, of being raised by wolves, of being raised by narcissistic sociopaths that are out to destroy you. Understanding it and learning how to cope with it and taking yourself back to where you were broken so you understand it is them, not me. Like your youngest son had to find out when he stayed with him, oh, it is them. It's not my mother. It's them. So the longer you stay no contact and the stronger bond you build with your own family, and as they hopefully go out and have their family and you have grandkids, you're not going to have to worry about these people. What has any of them done for you ever? All you've done is give and give and give and give. And all they've done for you is suck you dry emotionally, physically, and then blame you for your own life and try to make you feel like you're an inept piece of shit. And why would you want and why would you want these people in your life? How is this really loss? when we go no contact from the narcissist, it's not a loss. It's a gain. You gained your life. And that's how you cope with it and get over it. Because I'm free. They're not there. I gained a boundary. You gain boundaries. You gain space. You gain at least the ability to think, even if you're becoming an introvert. At least you have the ability to be an introvert without them physically there. So you always gain. It's never a loss. Thank you so much for your contribution and your story. I really appreciate it. I hope this helps. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype chat, phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook Live chat, you know, or you want to sponsor a video for someone who can't afford it and needs help, or just want to sponsor the channel in general, help keep the lights on, the bills paid, the rent paid, because this channel is still sponsored 100% by contributions for all of you. You know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box, and if you're still unclear, wait for the instructional video link to pop up on the screen at the end of this video to walk you through all of that. Please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.